Welcome to Switched On Schoolhouse Essentials of Communication. In this half-credit high school communications elective, your student will engage in a study of many aspects of speech and communication with units that cover communication foundations, language characteristics, interpersonal relationships, understanding groups, presenting and interpreting public messages, and more. Students will study types of communication, perception and its influencers, nonverbal communication, listening styles and barriers, communication in relationships, communications etiquette, group dynamics, leadership styles and functions, preparing and delivering a speech, and much more. Many of Alpha Omega's computer-based high school courses include semester reviews and examinations. The review lesson provides a focused review of lesson content, helping students to prepare for semester and final exams. Alternate semester and final exams are also available. Now let's take a look at a lesson from Essentials of Communication to see how concepts like these are covered. In a unit called Interpersonal Relationships, let's look at a lesson called Conversation. Most lessons begin with a brief introduction and a list of goals or objectives for the lesson. These objectives help students stay focused on important lesson content and provide parents with an effective way to measure mastery of lesson content. The objective for this lesson is evaluate and summarize your own and others' communication effectiveness based on the 5-step model to communication. At the beginning of most lessons, students will also encounter a list of vocabulary words that will be used throughout the lesson. We've included review and reinforcement activities to encourage mastery of these important words. For example, students can hear the correct pronunciation of each word.
Conversation. Feed forward.
A vocabulary games arcade provides additional practice designed to help students to learn the spelling and definitions for the vocabulary from the lesson. Let's take a look at one of the games. Flashcards provides a fun way for students to review the definitions for the vocabulary words. Here's a sample. After this introductory material, your student moves independently through the lesson, reading the text-based instruction and utilizing the multimedia features that have been provided. Several helpful tools have been included in Alpha Omega homeschool courses to enhance your students' learning environment and to promote greater understanding for students with a variety of learning styles. Auditory learners may benefit from hearing text read aloud as they follow along. Students select a portion of text and utilize the text-to-speech tool to read the text. A number of customization options allow students to personalize their use of the text-to-speech feature. A highlighting feature allows students to use highlighter colors to highlight important text in the lesson as they study. Highlighted portions are saved when a student leaves the lesson, making it possible for them to come back later to study the highlighted passages. In addition to the text-based instruction, Alpha Omega's computer-based lessons are often filled with colorful photographs, illustrations and diagrams, that are all designed to enhance the instruction and assist students in mastering lesson content. This colorful diagram examines the 5-step model of communication. Let's take a look. The first step is an opening. This usually includes a greeting that takes into account the history, contact, and type of conversation. A greeting might begin with Tammy saying, "Hi, Tracy," and Tracy responding, "Hi, how are you doing?" The diagram illustrates what is explained in the text-based instructions throughout the rest of the lesson. At the end of the lesson, your student is presented with a series of questions that provide a review of lesson content. If the lesson contains multiple sections, after completing section 1, the student continues to the next section, reading the text-based instruction and answering the remaining questions. Questions are presented in a variety of formats. Answers are automatically saved as the student works through the questions, with 85 to 90% of student work being graded immediately by the program. A student is given the opportunity to reattempt questions that were answered incorrectly the first time through the lesson. The lesson is complete when the student has answered all questions correctly or has exhausted his allowed attempts.